What's up, guys? Welcome back to another trading video. I know it's a few days since the last recent videos, but I had some complications again. But we are back, and today we're going to learn a new thing. I don't think I've showed it before, and I've showed uptrend, downtrend, whatever. I'm gonna make more videos repeating. It's kind of how kind of how it goes in the trading world. But today we are going to learn BOS, or break of structure. All right, there's three things to understand. Three things we're going to do in this video. First, we're going to understand what are highs and lows. I'm going to show this in trading view. I'm going to show this in trading view in a minute, don't worry. Then we're going to show you trend. It's essential to learning break of structure. And then I'm going to actually show you break of structure. So let's get started with understanding highs and lows. So what are highs and lows? Easy. Highs and lows are just when the stock is at a high and low. You see, this is the highest and this is the lowest. Now we have to understand other highs and lows. We have lows over here, lows over here, lows over here, highs over here, here, and let's say here. There's a low too. I'm forming a new low. You can see that this is actually now a downtrend. All right, but we're going to get into the trends in a minute. Highs and lows are simple to understand. It's when a candle forms, let's just say this is a red candle. When a red candle is formed a low, you see this is the lowest point. Now a green candle comes in, let's just say the black is green, and forms this high. All right, now we just have it go like this, whatever. This is the low and this is high. Combined with other candles, and I'm going to show you, in case you don't understand this, combined with other candles, it forms highs and lows. Highs and lows are what form uptrends and downtrends. And we're going to have to learn trends is essential to learn trends so that you can understand a break of structure. So let's get into trading view right now. Understanding highs and lows. So we have this is just a trade I took today, so let's delete that. Boop, beep, boop, beep. Okay. All right. So this is a perfect example. What happened actually today? So we have this uptrend. Where do we spot the highs and lows? You see this low. This is a low right here. Why? Because this red candle brung it down, making a low. This red candle, a red candle is the lowest form when a red candle brings it down. Another low, you could say right here, sure. Another low, right there. So it's very simple and understand. Another low is right over here. You see how this candle brings it down. Let's understand highs. This is a high. Why? Because this red candle brung it down, making a high. It broke this high. Now we're in an uptrend. Where's another high? Boom, right here. It broke this high, making another high right here. Where is another high? Boom, right there. Now you might say this is a break of structure. This is not a new high. Actually, it is. No, I'm sorry. This is a high right here. This candle. This is a high. It's very easy to understand. Like, this is clearly an uptrend. I hope you guys understand it. If not, just watch another video. TGI recommend. But another high right here. Another high right over here or here. I put in a green candle. Right, a high right over here. So now that you understand what highs and lows are on the chart, let's understand trends. All right, trends are when highs and lows are being formed. So let's form a downtrend real quick. Boom, 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 boom. All right, we have a high right here and a low right here. Right here is also a high, but we have a lower high. This is a high because this is a green candle right here that formed with right there, high, like I showed you in trading view, but it's lower than the previous high. So we say this is a lower high. Oh, is this high higher than this high? No, it's not. It's lower. So we form a new lower high, a new lower high. Let's raise that. A new lower high. All right, that's for a downtrend. But now we have these lows at these points. Is this low No, let's look at this low. Actually, yeah, it doesn't matter. Right here. Is this low lower than this low? Yes. So that's what we call a new lower low. This is a low because it's lower than the previous low. A lot of lows and high. I'm gonna have to repeat myself a lot. So is this low lower than this low? Yes. So that's a new lower low. Is this low lower than this low? Yes, that's a new lower low. A new lower low. You can see downtrends are formed by lower lows and lower highs. Now let's look at an uptrend. Actually, I'm gonna mark this as a downtrend. Now we have uptrend, up, down, up, down, up, down, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. All right. We start from here. This is a low, but is this low? Because the candle was formed in order for this low to be formed, a red candle was formed right here, wicked right there, right? Let's pretend that's a red candle, whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna curse. Sorry. No, no. All right. Is this low right here higher? Yes. So that's what we call higher low. Sorry, higher low. Sorry, higher low, not lower high. That's for this. This is what we call a higher low because it's higher than the previous low. Is this low higher than this low? Yes. So that's what we call the new higher low. Higher low right there again because this low was higher than this previous low. For an up, for the highs, for in order to this high to be formed, a candle, a green candle had to be formed, forming the wick right there. Now we have a high. All right. Now we look at this high. Another big green candle was formed right there for a high in order to be formed. It doesn't have to be a wick and just be the candle. Like some candles are formed like this, and we just boom, that's a high, whatever. All right. But look, we have a new high right here. This high is higher than the previous high, so we have a new higher high. This high is higher than the previous high, so we have a new higher high. I'm wow, sounding really repetitive, whatever. But you understand what I mean. No, a new higher low, a new higher high. We're gonna get into the charts showing this right now. Now understanding highs and lows and uptrend. Now we actually have a downtrend. We actually have a perfect example, and for a break of structure, which is this whole day was perfect. So we have this uptrend, this low right here, this low right here, low, low. All right. So this is now an uptrend. You see how this low was lower than this low. This low is higher than this previous low. So this is a higher low, higher low, higher low. This low, you see, higher than the previous low. So we're in an uptrend. This high is higher than the previous high. So we have a higher high, another high, higher than the previous high, higher high, higher high, higher high. Also a higher high right here, higher than this previous high. But then this high is higher than this previous high. This is an uptrend. For the downtrend, we have a lower low, then we have a new lower low, then we have a new lower low, a new lower low, a new lower low right here. You see that? That is a downtrend. A new lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and then oh, a break of structure. And that's where we're gonna get into real quick. And now that you understand higher highs and lower, an uptrend and a downtrend, lower highs, higher highs, whatever. Now that you see that structure, it's called structure, market structure. Market moves in two kind of ways: a downtrend and an uptrend, and consolidates. But we're focusing on a downtrend and uptrend, all right? So when this a downtrend or uptrend form that is formed a market structure. The market structure is an uptrend or a downtrend. Now we're looking for the break of that structure. So we're going to start with a downtrend first. We have down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay. Let's do it like this. We have lower high, lower high, lower high. Then we have lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low. Now we see this lower high. Now, in order for a downtrend to form, it needs to continue this pattern of lower high. What if, not what if, but when a candle is formed, not wicked, if it just wicks right there and it's like this, it's not break of structure. If the candle is formed like the body above this previous lower high, we have a break of structure. Because that's not a downtrend anymore. A downtrend is formed with lower highs and lower lows. But now we have a higher high because this high is higher than the previous high. We can't have a higher high in the downtrend. We had to have a lower high, but we have a higher high. So what does that mean? A break of structure. Now you see this? Now we have an uptrend where it goes up. That is a break of structure. How is this useful? It is useful because a lot of day traders, including myself, use this to catch big moves or reversals to the upside. That is a TP. That's like a 10 to 1. You know, that you can use that in a 10 to 1. I use it more in a 2 or 3 to 1, but you can use it on a 10 to 1, 3 to 1. Catch these big reversals. All right. So this lower low is formed, but then we have a new lower high. When do we have a lower high? In an uptrend. So that means this downtrend now formed an uptrend. How do we saw that? From the break of structure. From the previous lower high being broken, and now there's a higher high. All right, let's show this with an uptrend. As you can see now, we have an uptrend. How are uptrend formed? By lower highs and higher highs. Now we see the break of structure. We have this lower high. The next lower high has to be higher than the previous low. But what if, not if, when this happens, break, not a wick, but a clear body candle that is formed. You wait for the minute, boom, it's formed. It breaks that lower high. What does this now become? A lower low, but we cannot have a lower low in an uptrend. So what does this become? A break of structure. So now we can see a downtrend. All right. So this higher now, this high right here is not a higher high because this high is not higher than the previous high. So what do we have now? A lower high, like a downtrend. So you can see now we are now forming a downtrend. Why? How do we see this? From the break of the previous low, from the break of structure. See that? When a new high or low now just switches. This was a high, now it's a lower high. This was a low, now it's a lower low. You see that? And then that's when we can catch reversals. So this is my stop loss, whatever, and I can just catch this whole thing for like a 3 to 1 or whatever. This is a break of structure, and I'm going to show you it in the charts real quick right now. Now we have break of structure. When do we have a break of structure? All right, let's form our lower highs, our lower lows, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low. We have this lower low right here. Wait, this lower low. All right, a new lower low is formed. Let's say we're live right here. This lower low is formed. Wait, a new lower low is formed live. All right, then we see this higher high is formed. Okay, we're live. We see, oh, this candle right here, not this candle because it just wicked. We're looking for a whole body right here. This whole candle broke it. It formed. Now a new lower low has formed. An uptrend happens when lower highs are formed. Now we have a lower low. That means a break of structure. And if you wanted to, this is not the complete strategy, but if you wanted to, if you could have taken a short, boom, right there. Let's just say you aimed right. Just same right there. But that's not the complete strategy, so I really recommend going to a short or long just because of a new lower, just because break of structure, you need other confluences, confirmations. But that is a break of structure to the downside. Let's see a break of structure to the upside. All right, perfect right here. A lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low. Let's mark it out. Boom, okay. Now we're looking for higher, lower highs. High, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Right here, we have this high and we have this low. This is, let's just pretend this is live, right? Let's just pretend this is live. You see this low, this high is formed, then this low. Candle comes up, breaks it. The body, not the wick, the body breaks this higher low. So now, up, we have this new higher high. Look at this new higher high. These candles are confusing to look at, so I'm just gonna delete them. There. I don't really need those. So we see that a new high was formed, that now we have a break of structure. And now what do we see? Up, a move to the upside. You see that? So very simple to understand. So get used to it, get used to seeing those, go into your own charts, see if you can spot them. They're very, very easy to understand, very easy to spot as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you liked the video, please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.